What is mentorship? Who needs it? Who's responsible for it? But most important, who deserves it? Steven Spielberg said, the delicate balance of mentoring someone is not creating them in our own image, but giving them the opportunity to create themselves. Growing up in a tough neighborhood in Cape Town, it was one Friday afternoon, a friend and I, we were standing on a street corner, waiting for the rest of the crew to arrive. We were about to play football in the local schoolyard when I noticed an aircraft flying over. I turned to my friend and I said, one day, when I'm older, I'm going to fly in one of those things. With a look of disgust, he turned to me and said, Preston, things like that don't happen to people like us. Dream killer, right? Moments later, a family friend came driving past and shouted at me, Preston, what are you doing standing on that street corner? I must admit, it wasn't the brightest idea in the early 90s. But you see, this was a trusted voice in my life, because a few years earlier, I found myself sitting on the sidewalk, and this old man knew that on a Saturday morning, the guys from my neighborhood would go down to the local football field and enjoy a match. But this specific day, I couldn't go because I didn't have a pair of boots. I made it known to him, and without hesitation, he loaded me into his car, took me down to the local shopping mall, and we walked into the sports store, and he told me to buy any pair of boots that I would like. As you would guess, I took the most expensive pair. But because of this old man, I never missed another football match in my life again. I used to frequent this old man's home. And I recall one Friday afternoon, I went with him and his family to do their weekly shopping. And on our way back, we pulled up in the driveway. And as we were carrying the bags from the car to the house, all hell broke loose. A young man that we both knew was brutally murdered. A drive-by shooting. Sad, right? Well, this was a regular occurrence. What got to me the most was the fact that that was the same street corner I used to find myself on all the time. Out of the 10 friends that I grew up with, 8 of them are either addicted to drugs or dead. And only 2 of us made it out alive. I was one of the lucky ones. I knew that I didn't want to be a statistic. So I took all my time and I invested it into football. It was probably round about this time that I can recall back over my life that I experienced mentorship. Because the influence of this old man steered my life into a different direction. I'll never forget the words of this old man, Preston, whatever you do today will impact your life tomorrow and ultimately become how you live in the future. This mentorship relationship was invaluable, priceless. It helped me to view life differently. In fact, his act of kindness enabled me at the age of 17 years old to turn professional as a football player. I went from playing on the tarmacs in the back of schoolyards to traveling the world and playing on international platforms. I guess I did get to fly in my plane. I'll never forget the principles this old man taught me. During my life, I've always wondered who should be driving mentorship. I've come to believe that it's everyone's responsibility. Not just the person that needs mentorship, but us that can be mentors. Maybe it's time for corporate South Africa to spearhead this initiative. Make it part of our CSI projects. After all, we have the power to become catalysts for change. The impact that mentorship has had on my life has made me believe that mentorship should not be asked, it should be given. Donna Brazil says the following: it takes but one person, one moment, one conviction to cause a ripple effect of change. And as the old adage goes, prevention is better than cure. Today I'm involved with a project that practices this very theory, helping young men and women steer them away from the art of gangsterism. Refocus, giving mentorship to young men and women that don't even know that they need it. Our mission in life is to steer them away from incarceration and addiction. Did you know that 4 out of 10 young people that started grade 8 this year won't even make it to grade 12? That 90% of the kids in our program comes from single-parent homes. Then 1 out of 3 kids are faced with social injustice. 80% of young men incarcerated right now will return back to prison within 6 months after being released. Our presence in the lives of people we mentor will draw out the greatest achievements, whether it's in sport, music, the arts, or education. Old President Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon one can use to change the world. It was certainly a weapon that I used to change my world. I know that I want to make a difference. The mentee has now become the mentor. Our greatest mission in life is to steer young people away from incarceration, using the power of formal and informal education to change the way they think, to help them to dream again. An educated mind is a mind filled with vision. Let me remind you what I said earlier. Out of my 10 friends that I grew up with, only 2 of us made it. I've committed the rest of my life to fight gangsterism, 1 person at a time. What about you? Are you willing to give mentorship to someone that don't even know that they need it? I imprint the following words on every person that I encounter in my life, whether it's in schools or in prison. Don't hold on to the pain that you know, but push through and discover the greatness that's inside of you. Thank you.